Football 101. That's right, I'm your host, The Beetle. Yes, formerly of Miami University. Way back in the day. Way back in the day, 79 and 80. And I'm going to breaking down each and every NFL team. And yes, this is Football 101. Used to be the magazine show, and now we are the YouTube show. And I'm giving you nothing but my insight as a former player and want to break it down in a different way. And what I mean by a different way, I listen to all the local YouTube shows from each and every city. And I'm going to be listening to, I'm going to give you some insight from NBC Sports Philadelphia. Philly. They cover the Philadelphia Eagles very well, as well as Jakeem Sports and Gary Cobb. Yes, I tuned in to Jakeem Sports and Gary Cobb, former linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, and really enjoyed their show, their insight during training camp the first couple of days. They really give you some great insight. So a shout out to NBC Sports Philly, as well as Jakeem Sports and Gary Cobb and the crew there in Philly. So, yes, I'm going to give you and of course, I'm using Lindy Sports Pro Football Magazine as my base to give the insight to each and every team, and in this particular, the Philly Eagles. Fly, Eagle, fly! And so I've been now I'm getting into this is actually show number 3. This is show number 3, and I'm going to show you a few things. Here's, of course, they highlight your boy, our boy, Jalen Hurts, quarterback. But let me start off with the coaching staff, with Nick Sirianni. This is his 4th season, and man, they had to retool. They lost their offensive coordinator last year, the defensive coordinator. Both of them got starting head coaching jobs in the NFL. So last year they brought in new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore from the Dallas Cowboys. And I know what you're thinking. Young Kellen Moore was sent packing from the Dallas Cowboys. But he really came first. He was at Dallas, and he was also at the Chargers. But that didn't work out. So anyway, that's where he knows, including for with the Cowboys. There you go. Experience running offense, it's Dallas Cowboys offense. So with Kellen Moore as offense coordinator, and I didn't like him as offense coordinator that's much, but let me just say, I think he has an opportunity to really change things up with Philly because they were struggling offensively, and I think they got a great chance to recreate their offense. Now defensively, the Philly brought in veteran defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, old school physical Vic Fangio, and he will provide some stability. He's a he doesn't play around. He tells it like it is. He's old school, and unfortunately, that's how he got thrown out of Denver, with Denver Broncos a few years ago. But Vic Fangio, he brings a no bars attitude, a lot more physicality. He demands physicality from his players, and I think he's a good fit. Quite frankly, I think he's a good fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, he brings he's the same age as I am, by the way. 65 years of age, is one of the league's most respected defensive minds. Yes, the Beetle just gave my age away. Yes, I'm 65. I'm the same age as Vic Fangio. Can you believe it? But anyway, that's what you get with my Football 101 show. Things just happen in the studio. And by the way, I record my shows at night. So I don't disturb anybody in my home studio. So I'm trying to keep this not to be as loud as I possibly can be. But let me just get into Philadelphia. Of course, there is a phenomenal Jalen Hurts. I've been always a fan of Jalen Hurts from when he was with Alabama in college, then to Oklahoma, and then coming to Philly, and he has matured even more so. And I think last year he had a buzzsaw, and things went south for Philadelphia after they were in the Super Bowl the previous year, and I think things went south because they just lost their edge. But Philadelphia picked up as a backup Kenny Pickett from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They let go Marcus Mariota because Marcus he struggled last year, so they had to let go Marcus Mariota. Brought in a new backup, letting Marcus Mariota walk and trading for the former Steeler first rounder Kenny Pickett. Then Pickett started. He started 24 games in 2 years for the Steelers. So they have a very capable backup if Jalen Hurts gets hurt. Now, here's the big offensive change in the offseason. They had to get rid of. There you go. They fired their collapse of their offense and defensive coordinators Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, and general manager. Now let me just give a shout out to Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman, he's a phenomenal general manager. I really big fan of Howie Roseman. He's always working deals. He's always working with the owner, Jeff Lurie. He's a class act executive, general manager, vice president. Howie Roseman, he's willing and dealing 24/7. The guy just doesn't stop. So a shout out, I'm giving a shout out to their executive vice president and general manager, Howie Roseman. Give some props to Howie Roseman. I'm sorry. I just like the way he operates when you see him during draft day and when he's in the office. He knows how to bring in culture, bring in an attitude, keep certain players and make deals. I really like the way he. So again, a shout out to. I know you didn't expect that, did you? A shout out to Executive Vice President and General Manager Howie Roseman. Really like his style. So guess what? In the offseason, he brought in Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley. Can you believe Saquon Barkley? Super duper star. And again, the Eagles typically don't invest a lot in their money in that position, but Saquon signed a 3-year, $37 million deal. Saquon is 27. Although he's got the ACL injury, the Eagles still feel that he has a lot of good football left in him, particularly the way they plan to use him with other running backs such as Kenneth Gainwell and rookie 4th rounder Will Shipley from Clemson. I think he's an excellent addition to their running back field because, again, what they're going to do with the plethora of running backs, this is going to be fast motion. Now I'm going to get to what I saw during training camp on NBC Sports and Jakeem Sports and Gary Cobb. Jalen, during the scrimmage, the 7-on-7 already from was it first day of camp, second day of camp, first week of camp. He's throwing there's a lot of action, a lot of motion, and Jalen Hurts is getting rid of the ball fast. He's not holding the ball. It's fast delivery. Kellen Moore is reshaping Jalen Hurts' style. This is what he needed to get the ball out of his hands in less than 2 seconds, 2-3 seconds, and giving it to your playmakers, to the running backs. And to their superstar wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. When you have a superstar quality wide receivers and running backs, use them. And that's what I like. That's what I saw during the first week of training camp. Very impressed with the scheme. They have a lot of motion. They have a lot of moving back and forth. You don't know which way they're going to go. I'm going to give props to Kellen Moore to speeding up this offense and elevating. I just see Jalen Hurts will elevate in this offense. It will not get. He won't have enough time to second guess or run around and get in trouble or holding the ball. It's fast action, and with this that means Saquon Barkley will not have to carry the load. Obviously, they're going to dump the ball off to him. They're going to shuttle the ball off to him. They're going to be quick openers and to the running backs, and of course A.J. Brown, Mr. I want the ball all the time. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I'm going to have to give it up to Devontae. I didn't anticipate that Devontae would handle the physicality of the NFL, being a smaller type frame wide receiver, but he's developed a great skill set. And matter of fact, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are one of the top 2 or 3 receiving tandems in the NFL. Over the last 2 seasons, they've combined for 370 receptions, 5,214 yards, and 28 touchdowns. And of course, when A.J. Brown is such great friends with Jalen Hurts, they're best of buddies, and Jalen always has to calm down A.J. Brown on the sideline when things go south. He always have to calm down A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has his emotions on his sleeve. If he matures a little bit more, it really will help the team. So I'm encouraging A.J. Brown to mature a little bit more. Use your veteran leadership, and this team has lots to go. Of course, the Philly Eagles will have to get over the retirement of Jason Kelce, their longtime center. Kelce put in extra years to solidify that offensive line, and now the offensive line will have to step up without Kelce's leadership. The Eagles lost the 6-time All-Pro. Will be difficult to replace. Cam Jurgens, who started 14 games at right guard last season, will slide over to Kelce's spot. Tyler Steen, a 2023 third-round pick who played only 71 snaps as a rookie, is the front runner to replace Jurgens at right guard. Former Falcon Matt Hennessy, who signed with the Eagles in the offseason, will compete with Steen for the starting right guard job and also provide the depth at center. Hennessy, who started 17 games at center for the Falcons in 2021, missed all of last season with a knee injury. They also have the Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson as the most dominant left side tandems in the league. So their offensive line is going to go through some changes, but I think they are very well capable of handling the changes. Now moving to the defense, this is where the Philadelphia Eagles have to step up after racking up franchise record 70 sacks in 2022. The Eagles had only 43 sacks last season. They traded away their most productive pass rusher, Haason Reddick, in the offseason, and also had 6-time Pro Bowler defensive tackle Fletcher Cox retire. Fletcher was a stalwart for that defensive line, brought the attitude, brought character to the defensive line, but the defensive line had to change over, and those big draft picks have to perform. Jalen Carter, what I saw in training camp already, he's stepped up. Jalen Carter has stepped up, as well as Jordan Davis must step up from Georgia. So you got 2 Georgia graduates together. They are tasked to step up that defensive line, along with Josh Sweat, who will definitely add pain to the defensive line. That's what they need. A more physical defensive line will step up, and I think they will provide good security. The linebackers' play last season was abysmal and played a significant role in their defensive struggles. Upgrading the unit was a high offensive offseason priority. Again, that linebacking crew has to step up big time because, again, that's where the bread and butter is on that defense. The linebackers, General Manager Devin White, a tackling machine who was a Pro Bowler in 2023, come from Tampa Bay. I'm a big Tampa Bay Bucs fan. Devin White comes over, signed a 1-year deal, as well as did Oren Burks, who backed up the 49ers 2 Pro Bowlers. So you bring in some free agents. They hopefully will solidify. I think Devin White will step up and secure that linebacking job. The secondary, the Eagles gave up 35 touchdown passes last season, which was the second most in the league. Quarterback Darius Slay is a 6-time Pro Bowler, but he's 33 and missed 5 games. What I saw of Darius Slay during training camp already, he's bringing it. Whether he's the lockdown corner that he was, a Pro Bowler that he was, that's to be determined. But Darius Slay, it looks like he has that attitude where he wants to get back to his All-Pro status. 12 years in the league, but he still has that veteran leadership. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He is definitely a big-time defensive back. He's at and he's from Florida. I really like his style. Also Quinton Mitchell, the rookie from Toledo. He's a top-notch defensive back. I remember seeing him being drafted this past year draft in Detroit. He's a great surprise. Great human being. Great scholar. Studies the game. He's going to be a big surprise for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then they have Avonte Maddox, the nickel cornerback from Pittsburgh, from University of Pittsburgh. So I see them quite capable of holding their own. Special teams, Jake Elliott is one of the best kickers in the league. He made 30 of 32 field goal attempts last season and is 80 for 88 over the last 3 years. Punter Britton Covey had a breakout season. He finished second in the NFL in return average. Punt returner. The Eagles returned only 13 kickoffs last season, which was 6 fewest. But with the new kickoff rules, that's going to change. Rick Lovato who will be the Eagles' long snapper. The intangibles, wow, they have a few intangibles. Have 9 home games and 8 away games this season, but one of the 9 games is in the season against Green Bay in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So again, the Philly Eagles are ready with the new addition of Saquon Barkley. Nick Sirianni, he's so emotional. He has to keep it under. He's emotional. You remember the picture when he cried during the Super Bowl. Tears were coming down. He's an emotional guy. He's cleaned house. He's got a new offensive coordinator. He's got a new defensive coordinator. And I predict that the Eagles will be 12-6 this coming season. 12-6. So, and they actually, here's their season. They starting off with the Green Bay Packers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Then they host Atlanta Falcons. Then they go to New Orleans. Then they go to Tampa Bay. Then they have a bye. Then they host Cleveland. Then they go to New York Giants. Then they go to Cincinnati. Then they host Jacksonville Jaguars. Then they go to Dallas. Then they host Washington. And then they go to LA Rams. Then they go to Baltimore. Then they host Carolina. Then they host Pittsburgh. Then they go to Washington. Then they host Dallas. And then they finish with the New York Giants at home. So that's the reason why I have their record at 12-6. making the playoffs, going deep in the playoffs. Once they get solidified with this new offensive strategy, I think the sky's the limit. It's about building confidence. It's about building consistency, and it's about getting the ball into playmakers, and then it's about that defense securing, not giving up touchdowns, not giving up easy scores anymore. And that's the reason why they brought in Vic Fangio. Overall, I see the Philadelphia Eagles. Guess what? Fly, Eagle, fly. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and so it's gonna be a good year. You just gotta not buy in all the hype, stay consistent, develop consistency with the new players and with the new offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. The sky's the limit for Philadelphia. I got them 12-6. That's what I do. So thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe our show. This is Football 101, the YouTube show. I'm your Beetle. I'm your host. And so let's do this.